Hey, Tom Rabbit! I hope you got this for your recording. Hey, YouTube out there. Tom Rabbit likes to record these. Hey, Tom Rabbit!
All right, without any further ado, he's my friend. He's a Christian. He's been following your work for, I don't know, maybe 10 years now. I'm not sure. He goes by Darth Dawkins as a moniker, and he would like to ask you questions on mic. Darth, take it away.
Hi, Dr. Myers. You're well known for being an outspoken atheist. Is your atheism the kind that you deny the existence of God? Or is your atheism one where you're just unconvinced and you're neutral?
Oh, it's somewhere in between those two. Yeah, I will deny the existence of any of the deities that have been proposed, because none of the believers have presented me with any of the evidence to support their very specific supreme being. I can't outright deny the possibility of, a guiding intelligence out there. But I will be pretty forthright in saying that, no, it's not the Catholic God. It's not the Muslim God. It's not the Buddhist, whatever they have up there. It's that all of the false conceptions of God are false.
So you believe then that it's not necessary then to reference God as the precondition of facts?
Why, no. Why would I?
Okay. Well, since you believe that, that logically entails that God cannot logically coexist in that world. So then that entails your position is that no creator God exists. How would you defend what your position entails, that there's no God?
That the way I would defend it is to, first of all, point out the whole question is sophistry. That I've heard this kind of reasoning before, and it's usually somebody who has talked themselves into some very narrow definition of how the universe must work, and think it's entirely logical how things must be resolved. And so, no, I don't find that convincing at all, and I don't find it even very interesting.
What did I say? What did I say specifically that was sophistry?
The whole thing.
Could you be specific? Well, you said
the whole point is the whole point you're making. Okay, go ahead. You asked me, but I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
You told me that you believe that it's not necessary to reference God as the precondition of all facts, right?
Correct.
That logically and necessarily entails the falsity of the existence of God.
No,
God
it does not. No, it does not.
I will explain it to you. I will explain to you why it does. Okay. God cannot logically coexist. Well, do you want to hear it or not? I mean, do you have your mind already made up?
I don't want to hear it because I don't find this line of argumentation at all convincing.
Okay. Well, why don't you let me finish? I don't know.
No, this is classic. This is classic.
If you're an outspoken atheist, you should be a.
Okay. Whoever needs that. Wait, just a second. Dr. Myers, do you want to continue with this person?
Not really. Whenever I encounter a creationist who starts trotting out syllogisms, it usually means I'm going to get a long line of nonsense. In this case, for instance, he says that, you
don't want to continue that question from him, correct?
That is correct. Say goodbye.
4 to 6 weeks later.
Look, Darth, I'll do you a favor, okay? I'll invite PZ Myers in this server. How about that?
He's not going to come in, and if he does, if I do talk with him again, he'll flee like the coward that he is.
No, but he'll come if I ask him.
No, what I'm saying is, yeah, not knowing, but if I start talking with him, he'll flee because he's a gutless coward. He demonstrated what a feckless little coward, unless he can control, okay, the direction of the conversation or monologue, like in a debate, then he folds. PZ, was it not clear to you and everyone else how he completely folded upon questioning? And in fact, he's so arrogant, so uppity. he couldn't even control himself from making guttural noises into his microphone. And then I said nothing about my beliefs about creationism. Okay. I just simply questioned him about what he stated he believes and its ramifications. And immediately he got his panties into a twist. Not that I'm suggesting that he's a closet transvestite, but he did get his panties into a twist.
Did you read him blogging about you?
No, I didn't.
He blogged about you.
Wow. That must have really pissed him off. Where do you have a link?
Who are we talking about? So
PZ Myers, the firebrand atheist who folded in less than 3 minutes of questioning.
Wait a minute, he wrote about you? Is that
Yeah.
what he said?
Yeah, he blogged about Darth.
Oh, this should be nice. We gotta check that
Well,
out.
send me the link. I want to see what this jellyfish had to say.
Here, this is it. Should I just DM it to you? I'm blocked, I think.
Put it in Atheist Helpline.
Well, let me. There. Darcy called you a logician.
Okay. All right, let me read this. Okay, let's see.
It's not really.
I mentioned earlier that I've been on this philosophical checkmate Discord server. It was an odd experience. A few trolls, a rather eclectic assortment of auteur positions, a large group of people who politely lined up to ask questions. I went ahead and uploaded my copy of the conversation. So if you're rather hardcore, you can listen to an hour and a half of random Q&A. I wanted to single out one point, though. Early on and scattered throughout, there appeared to be a type, a kind of person I'm going to call, for the sake of putting a handle on them, logicians. I can't stand them. They appear among creationists and atheists and theists and skeptics about equally often. You know them. They're typically the debate me bros who have some gimmick that they can't wait to try to get out. This just shows you what a wuss he is. Okay, there was no gimmick there. I simply asked the question. Okay, do you believe that it's necessary to reference God as the precondition of all facts? And he said no. And so I simply pointed out what the entailment was. But because he did not want to acknowledge the entailment, which would put him in a position of having to defend positive atheism, okay, he wants to call it a gimmick. I mean, this is how immature this guy is. Ray Comfort is, for instance, so you know you don't have to be logical to play the game. His gimmick is a gotcha question. Have you ever told a lie? Then you're a sinner. You need Jesus. Lots of atheists play it too. Street epistemologists are worse. They have a set of pattern that's supposed to lead you to the logical contradiction between your claim, what you claim are your values, and what your values actually are, to get you to admit that you were wrongity wrong. And then, I mean, this is like the rantings of a teenager. Oh gosh. Let's see. Guess what? Okay.
So basically, he's attacking anybody that seems to have like scripted questions.
Well, what he just wrote is really just substantive less. Okay, you know, an angry teenager could have written that. Okay, we're already bundles of contradictions and incoherent views, every one of us. We have developed cognitive mechanisms for coping. Witness all the end-time fanatics who see the prophesied date of the apocalypse pass without a big kaboom and then struggle briefly to rationalize it before reaffirming their beliefs with minor revisions. We're not creatures of event. I've learned to recognize the logician. They come up to you with a smug tone in their voice, prepared with a clever syllogism, and that they're sure what will totally stump me. Typically, they start by announcing something obvious that they know about me, like, you believe it's not necessary. Okay, he's quoting to me. No, I didn't assert that. I simply asked him a question. Do you believe? Okay. So they announced something obvious to me, like, you believe it's not necessary to reference God as the precondition of facts at the 15-minute, 30-second mark in the video. I know instantly that they're about to unroll a canned script on me. When I say yes, as they know I will, They then tried to launch into Act 2 of their script.
Look how he tries to make himself sound.
What's that?
I said, look how he makes himself try to sound so intellectual in this. Wow.
Yeah, so far he hasn't said anything substantive. Okay, he's just simply trying to well, so far it's
what are you reading?
Poison the well, if you will. Okay. Okay, Act 2 of their script with a statement like that logically entails, which it usually doesn't. In the video, he obviously tries to trap me, claiming that because I acknowledge that I don't know everything, and acknowledge that maybe there's some cosmic force. See, now he's completely changed the topic. Did you see that? He goes from the logical entailment to me talking about what is fundamental or ultimate. Okay, so he completely switched topics there. Okay.
What are you reading from?
PZ Myers wrote a blog referencing his appearance in Philosophical Checkmate and his interchange with me, which sounds like a more whiny, crying temper tantrum of a teenager.
Notice,
I'm looking for the
I was
date
going to
on
say,
this.
notice he says that they'll say it logically entails, and he doesn't even finish the sentence of what it logically entails.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not seeing the date on this. Huh.
It was right after the debate thing.
Yeah, so
it was on February 28th. February 28th.
What? That's when the AMA was.
AMA was a little bit before February the 28th. I think it was on the 26th.
Okay, so he wrote this 2 or 3 days afterwards?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, he was so troubled by it that he had to blog about it. Okay. You know. Okay, let's see. Probably somebody sent him a link to.
No, he has a recording. He has a recording of.
No, I understand, but he probably somebody gave him a link to my commentary.
Oh.
Okay. It's just the audio. I put a painting of my nephew Michael Myers on it, so you'd have something to look at while tearing your hair out. Well, first of all, he didn't. I mean, wow, this guy. I mean, this guy is short fused. Wow. I mean, I guess that comes with the extreme arrogance. Okay. All right, let's continue here. I have to find the spot weird. Okay. In the video, he obviously tries to trap me, claiming that because I don't acknowledge to know everything and acknowledge that maybe there is some cosmic force out there I don't know about, that's a logical inconsistency with my rejection of his particular definition of God. I have no truck with that BS. I just sent him away. So in other words, he just declared that just a couple of questions was BS because he couldn't come up with a standard atheist cliche or catchphrase. I didn't hear him analyze what was said. He just dismisses it as BS. But you know, even if what I said was irrational, I wouldn't have been concerned. Go ahead, catch me in a logical. Well, wait a minute. Why would you even have to post that if it's BS, right? Yeah, because he knows it wasn't BS. Go ahead, catch me in a logical contradiction, and smoke won't come out of my ears, and I won't stagger off to meltdown and failure. Well, what do you call this blog? Okay. My philosophy is that we are human beings, and human beings are not intrinsically logical. We fail all the time, myself included. I'm unbothered. Bring up a good contradiction to my views, and I'll think about it because that's all you can ask of rationally flawed people. My perspective is that I personally am a bundle of disparate parts. I have biases. I have bits that I have assembled into a mostly functioning, shambling mess that I'm constantly patching, nudging, and revising, and that's okay. My name is Legion. Isn't that nice that he refers to the name of the demons in the Gospels? I contain multitudes. I was born the product of 4 billion years. See, here we go again, back to the dogma of evolution. Okay. More evolutionary creation story. 4 billion years of evolutionary forces that pushes my ancestors hither and yon. I was raised in an environment that shamed expects. We may have been correct and may have been wrong. And then I spent my adult life struggling to test and evaluate and fix my thinking. You want to tell me that one module of my personality conflicts with another?
Well, fix
What's that?
what? I said fix what?
Yeah,
Fix
I mean, this is
standard.
This is a train wreck of a response. I mean, this is. I just. Wow, this guy is just. Wow, he gets paid to teach. Wow. Woo.
Why? What's so bad about it?
You want to tell me that one module of my personality conflicts with another? I'll agree. It's probably true. Happens all the time. Okay. Well, but that's not what I said. I didn't say I didn't say one module of your personality conflicts with another. I said your claim of atheism commits you or entails you to the denial of God. Right? That's all. And he immediately got a massive hemorrhoidal infliction of pain. I think of my life as rather a battered old jalopy traveling from where I started to some destination unknown, a destination often redirected by circumstances and by growing enlightenment. I occasionally break down and need to stop for a while to make repairs.
Enlightenment in an evolutionary world?
Yeah.
What is he talking about?
Maybe, PZ Myers should just start writing fiction, or prose. Maybe he could become a internationally famous atheist poet, because that's what this sounds like. I occasionally
community college lecture.
Yeah, I occasionally break down and need to stop for a while to make repairs. I read that already. It's the human condition, rattled by chaos and trying our best. Wow, this is. There's only one word to describe this response. It's
cope. Cope.
Wow. I mean, this is a guy who got that his atheism was exposed for what it is. He ran away like a scared Girl Scout. He had a hissy fit because he probably has students sucking up to him all the time, and this is his response to explain his just atrocious failure. What I can't abide, though, is these damnable logicians. They're ones who bunker down in a set of premises they find comfortable, and they claim are absolutes, and they spend their life building rash. Well, isn't that what you do with your billion? You claim evolution is an absolute, right? And he believes that everything else follows from that, which are absolutes. This guy's so full of crap, it isn't funny. Okay, let's see. They're the ones who bunker down in a set of premises they find comfortable and they claim are absolutes, and then spend their life building rational defenses so that they never have to change, never have to face intellectual challenges, never experience the thrill of hammering a new idea into the rat's nest of circuitry.
It's like he's talking about himself.
Yeah. Instead, they prefer to pretend their ideas are all shiny and chrome, wired, perfect one day, and often with God. I mean, this is the ramblings of some guy who was royally made to look like a fool, not because it was a gotcha question, but because it was a legitimate question followed by an entailment that he refused to acknowledge. I mean, this is wow. I'm just dumbfounded that he actually penned this. I actually believe it's probably more likely that somebody kidnapped him and tried to humiliate him, and then wrote this. They kidnapped him, put him in a cabin, and then they got his password and they uploaded it to his blog in order to make fun of him. I mean, that makes more sense than he actually wrote this himself. Okay.
Why is this a train wreck?
Oh, it is. There's nothing of substance here. Nothing.
Yeah, it's
just like that guy who made me look like a fool. Well, you know what? He's the bad guy. He probably didn't make his bed this morning. He probably has a booger in his nose, and he probably has some earwax he needs to clean. I mean, what a train wreck. One other thing outside the bounds of the video, about a half an hour before he wrapped it up, my granddaughter called. I had to refuse to pick up so I could finish. when a little later she called
man.
at the very end of the session, and we did get to talk for a while in a video hangout. What impressed me is that when I finally answered, she immediately summarized in her adorable little girl voice, "We called you, but you didn't answer. But we called again, and you did answer." What does this have anything to do with the price of tea in China?
This is his justification for his poor performance.
Wow. Wow. Okay, was he sucking on a bong when he wrote this? Ugh. Her language is getting better faster. What I almost noticed, though, was that she encapsulated this trivial event with a narrative, a story with a conflict and a resolution. How human of her. What this anecdote fits is what I think that's what we all do all the time. We take a chance, chaos, and random events, tie them up in a sweet little simple story, and already she's a master. We just have to be wary of the thinking the story is the whole truth. Wow. Wow. This is...
Isn't that what he's doing here?
Wow. Wow. This is
Darth, it's not over
amazing.
there. Check out comment 23. There gets a little butthurt in comment number 23.
I mean, this is... I am just dumbfounded at I mean, his performance was a train wreck, but this even confirms more that he's just pissed because his position was shown not to be coherent. Okay, right? It's not that, you know, some of our ideas may, you know, not seem to cohere there and oh my god. Okay, let me just scroll down.
Yeah, comment 22, and then his response is comment 23.
All right, I'm scrolling down right now. Give me a second. Comment 22. Okay. All right, I'm not going to suffer through the audio. I'm not sure what the guy means by necessary to reference God as the precondition of facts, but my guess is that it boils down to something like this. Facts are only true only if God exists. Yeah, that's presuppositional apologetics, aka the transcendental argument for God. That's the Christian fundamentalist way of flipping over the board. And oh my God. Hey, Parakeet, remember how we were talking about how when we don't grant them fundamental parameters, when they don't reference God and they have to establish it themselves, they think we're being subversive and dishonest because we won't grant them their most cherished fundamental beliefs that exist without God. We're turning over the board. Okay,
we won't grant them their God.
This is classic self-deception, if ever. Okay, that's the Christian fundamentalist way of flipping over the board, and everyone, religious or not, should be aware, and that's what it is. I don't have to play by the rules because the rules include the statement I've already won. This is so. I mean, there are teenagers that I have debated who have responded better than that statement right there. Aquinas would have made mincemeat of these guys. Okay, meh. Aquinas has his own problem.
They love evidentialists.
Oh, of course they do.
Art, had you ever an interaction with?
Let me just finish here. Okay, let's see. Aquinas says the 5 ways are close to being proved, but Aquinas was okay. P.Z. Myers, yeah, the guy who asked the stupid question is known as Darth Dawkins, aka Darwin's deity. Okay, gee, how did he know that I'm Darwin's deity? Obviously, he looked me up. Okay, he's a presuppositional twit. Okay. Okay. For street epistemology isn't the worst. Presuppositionalism is. I bet you he couldn't even. I bet you he could not even. You know, give a sentence or two explanation of biblical presuppositionalism. Okay. Yeah. So obviously,
in his head, man.
well, he was made. Look, how shall I put this? The question that I asked him as a firebrand, internationally known advocate of atheism was a legitimate philosophical question about his position, which he was completely blindsided by, right? And he knew that he couldn't give a coherent response, right? And afterwards, he's so upset about it that he had to write that rambling nonsense that I just read. Wow, I'm gonna save this. This is absolutely hysterical. By the way, did you get that, Tom Rabbit?